remember, I've been deeply influenced by Bill Phillips,
Yeah.
the Body for Life guy, and I've trained with him 4 times, and he spoke at the same event you spoke at for me, my Attract Money Now event.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I interviewed him, and he was talking about when he was doing the Muscle magazine, and he had the Body for Life thing going on. It was crazy hours. It was very competitive. He was totally committed to it, pretty much obsessed with getting this thing done. And I asked him, how did you find time to work out when you were spending all of your time doing the magazine and doing the promotion and creating EAS and all these other things?
Mm-hmm.
He said the only way he was able to create the magazine, the movement, the contest, and all of that is because he made time to work out.
Very interesting.
It gave him the health, the vitality, and the energy to actually be able to keep that pace up.
Mm-hmm.
And that has influenced me. And of course, you know that my father's 92 years old.
Yep.
Gets up every day at 4 a.m. and he works out for 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he doesn't have a job to go to and anything else to go to, but he's been doing this for 70 years.
Wow. So that's become a habit that obviously will never get broken.
And here's what I want to say about that, though, because I think these little insights are important to different people at different times. My father has never said he's working out to live longer.
Mm-hmm.
He's 92, but he's not working out to live longer. He says he works out for today. He works out for today, and he repeatedly stresses that. He says the reason he feels so good when the rest of the people in his age group are falling down and not getting back up is that he is getting up at 4 a.m. He is working out for 90 minutes. That gives him his rush, his flexibility, his mindset for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing it for the life. He's motivated to do it for today.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's real important, that maybe
It is.
to have that kind of an insight.
No, you are absolutely right. So you said 2 things that I think our viewers can immediately take away. 2 examples. The first one was Bill Phillips. The immediate takeaway is that Bill is giving himself energy and he's reducing stress so that he can create that dynasty in the fitness industry, the Body for Life and all that.
Yeah.
So he got something back immediately. He got energy and he fought off stress.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad, same thing. He does it for the day. So there's that immediate payback, and that is very important. We live in a time where immediate gratification is very important. It is for me at times, but, I have, it has become a habit for me working out. So I understand there's not always going to be that immediate, payback, other than the energy that you get, as your dad does, and other than the stress reliever that Bill Phillips talked about. So I think the viewers have to figure out what are they going to get out of working out, a fitness lifestyle, eating correctly. Very important. They have to answer that.
Yeah, absolutely correct. And it could be the self-satisfaction of having a goal and achieving it. Because there is an internal muscle. It's not just it's not the bicep, but it's more of a mental muscle that gets stronger. But you can use it for bigger things. If you say to yourself, I'm going to start doing cardio 3 days a week. And then when you actually go and do it, there's a part of you that builds self-esteem. That's the word I'm looking for. Self-esteem, self-approval, self-acknowledgement. And now, because you're doing that, you can go for bigger things.
Yeah.
One of the most successful years of my life was the very same year that I was in the Body for Life contest, and you were helping me and so forth. And I went in 5 Body for Life contests in 1 year. Back to back, 12 weeks, 1 week off, 12 weeks, and just kept going.
Wow, I had forgotten that.
Yes. But that was also the year that, up until that point, I was the most financially successful. And when I stopped to think about it, because it didn't become apparent at that point that the physical fitness was actually influencing my wealth fitness, but I think it was more than just having energy. I think it was the self-esteem. I think it was the idea that the more that I said I was going to do something and did it, that it influenced other areas of my life.
That makes a lot of sense.
Money attraction.
Yeah.
So, that was a motivation I didn't even see coming, but what a great motivation to think about now is that if you're talking about working out and you just start honoring yourself by doing it and keeping the promise, it has side effects in other areas.
Absolutely.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Jack LaLanne, would agree wholeheartedly. I love people like Bill and Jack LaLanne because they practice what they preach. Jack, when he was alive, he was pulling tugboats and swimming across oceans and, dragging refrigerators and things like that. And you're absolutely right. I do see a connection. Using my 14-year-old son, he is at the tipping point with his fitness right now. He avoids it because he'd rather be playing video games and things like that. But when he does it, just as he did this morning right before our video here, he feels good. I can just tell that self-esteem boost. He makes better choices with his nutrition. So you're absolutely right. There is a connection, and it does seem to really affect not only your finances, as you mentioned, but your self-esteem and your creativity, right? I know that when you're training, you have a little notepad that you keep, by your stair stepper or whatever, because you get very creative. I've seen you, in action.
I've had entire blog posts come to me just to send them into my brain. I've had entire songs come to me that I would start singing while I'm doing high intensity interval training on the stair stepper. I think that we need to look for the payoff, which I think is the kind of internal drug that makes us motivated to do something. For a while, as you know, I was bending steels and bolts and rock and horseshoes. Just an example of a bolt I happen to have here. I bent that. It's a little trophy.
Amazing.
But notice what I just said. It's a little trophy. And why is it a trophy? When I don't have a straight nail, but when I take a straight nail and I focus and say, I'm going to bend this, why am I motivated to bend it? Because when I get here, I know that I accomplished something that most people don't know how to do, and many people can't do. And I also have it as a trophy that I'm still showing off.
Yeah.
Chance I get, and anytime anybody will listen. I think that's the kind of thing that makes motivation easier. So in other words, when you did the Austin Fittest, the contest is about an hour, isn't it? Or an hour and a half?
About an hour and a half.
Yeah, I thought it was about an hour and a half. So when you begin it, you have an idea of where you're going to be in an hour and a half, and you want to feel in a certain way. When you're done, how do you feel when you're done with that hour and a half contest?
Elation, satisfaction, achievement, which is a word that's very important, I know, to both of us. One of my favorite books that I always keep within arm's length.
Oh, yeah.
Are you able to see that pretty well?
Peak Performance by Charles Garfield. It's a classic book. Mental Training Techniques of the World's Greatest Athletes. Yeah.
And I learned this, because of a CD that you gave me by Gene was it Gene Landrum or no? It's
Landrum.
Brooks Kubik.
Oh, that's a different city. Yes.
Brooks Kubik. So, that's another insight right there. Always having these books and audio CDs around so that you can learn about new people or new books. So it's all about achievement for me because I know that I can build on that, okay? And it's something to hang my hat on, just like that nail that you've bent and the other things that you've bent. So achievement, as Charles Garfield talks about in that book, is so important. I didn't know that, at a young age. But to answer your question, satisfaction, elation, and achievement. That's what I was feeling.
Well, that's what we want to look for. I think we all want that. But there's another thing that I noticed by being at the Austin Fittest, and it's something I talk about in different areas when I'm presenting to different kinds of groups. If people want to be successful, if they want to stay motivated, one of the key ways to do it is to be around people who are already motivated.
Right.
It's huge.
Right.
If you are wanting to run a marathon and you're hanging around couch potatoes, it's going to be harder for you to train for the marathon. You can still do it because you're internally driven.
Right.
So you can do it all by yourself. But I'm saying a hack
to
make it easier is to hang out with people who are already running marathons or wanting to run marathons.
Right.
No, hanging out with you at the Austin Fittest contest, and I don't know how many people were there, but these were all people interested in fitness. And I remember thinking to myself, if I was with this group, virtually every day,
Mm-hmm.
I would be far more fit, and I'd probably be in the fit contest too.
That would be awesome to see you do that.
Well, thank you. And see, that's another thing, is having somebody who believes in you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking about finding your inner motivation, but we also are talking about how to keep the fire going.
Right.
Some of it is by reminding yourself of your payoff, like what's going to happen when you're done with the contest, what's going to happen when you're done with the book, all of this kind of stuff. But you also want to look for what keeps the fire going. Other people can keep it going if you're hanging around people with a mutual interest. But having a coach who believes in you almost more than you believe in yourself,
Yep.
oh, I have found breakthroughs that happen at that point.